What's up, family? How it is, how it do, what it do, how you living? It's your boy, Justin Strickland, the host of the Ladder Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about John Henry as a leader, as a folklore, as a legend. And we're going to break down how his leadership impacted his people then and how we can learn from it now. But before we jump into that, I want to just tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a leadership connoisseur. I love leadership of all kinds, of all types, shapes, and sizes, and I study it so that I can help you apply it to your life and grow as a leader. This is the Ladder Podcast. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn your notification bells on. We post weekly. If you like audio, you can jump on over to Apple Podcasts. That's where our podcast is housed, and you can listen there. We would love to have you in whatever capacity we can. And the goal of the podcast is for you to learn and grow as a leader so that wherever the Lord has you today and tomorrow, you can show up as your best self. All right, let's jump into the legend of John Henry. So one thing we haven't done in a while, is we'll take a leader from history and we'll kind of break down who they are, who they were, and how they led then and how we can apply that style or perspective today. And so I love the story of John Henry. I'm going to tell you his story, and then we'll take different leadership cues from him, and then we'll, at the end, if you hang out with me long enough, we'll apply that today, and so you can see how you can use the story of John Henry for you to become a better leader. Sound like a plan? All right, buckle up. Let's have a good ride. So first, who is John Henry? You got to know a little history. I love history. Hope you don't mind. The legend begins in West Virginia, which is interesting, not a place you ever think about black people being from. John Henry is a black man in West Virginia during the late 1800s, like 1870s. And what happened is a lot of the skilled workers for the railroad companies were African-American men. And these conditions were horrible, man. We talking about middle of the summer, middle of winter, out basically laying tracks so that trains could go from the East Coast to the Ohio Valley specifically. So they're trying to create paths for commerce. And so labor-intense jobs, long hours, pay wasn't great, conditions weren't great. And one of the things they end up having to do is drill through a mountain. It's called Big Bend Mountain, and it's in West Virginia. And so these workers had to create a tunnel through this mountain, right? This was hard work. John Henry was known as like the fastest, strongest, best worker there. Best, like nobody could drill faster than John Henry. Nobody can hammer faster than John Henry. He was basically seen as like the leader amongst the workers, right? And they looked up to him because of his physique, because of his work ethic, because of his effectiveness. And so they start drilling in February, right? And so this is a 6,450 foot tunnel through the mountain. So this is a long mountain, right? They're drilling through this thing called red shale, which when you drill it, it goes into the air. That's instantly a bad thing, right? So you got poor air conditions. The rocks could just fall, and so death was always a possibility. This was like dangerous work, hard work. This still to this day is the longest tunnel in the C&O Railway. So for the railroad, this is their longest tunnel to this day, right? And so they're building this tunnel through the mountain, and mind you, I just kind of described the work. It's slow. Like they gotta be careful. They don't want it to collapse. They don't know what on the other side every time they drill. It's a slow, arduous work. And what they do is they're drilling through the rock with a hand drill and a hammer. So they got a hand drill and a hammer building a 6,000 foot tunnel, and they like, man, it's taking too long. And so there was a person called the steel driver, and what he did is he took the hammer and he would drive through the rock. So this had to be these got to be guys who are in shape, like real shape, not just like I work out 30 minutes a day shape. Like these dudes is big, strong men, and John Henry was like the epitome of that. And so the story goes like this. They brought in a steam drill to speed up the work. And what they did when they brought the steam drill in was say, hey, it's going to replace the John Henrys, right? It's going to take, so all those jobs that these men had. They were feeding their families. They were taking care of their homes. They was helping them buy land and basically change their lives, or were just going to be gone like that. And so no one believed that there could be a machine that could drill faster than John Henry, because he had a rep. His rep was he's the strongest, fastest, most powerful man on the railroad. And so goes toe to toe with the steam drill. And his role is to prove that they still need the men. They don't that the steam drill is not better than them. In fact, it's not going to take their job. That the men are actually better. And so he had two 10-pound hammers, one in each hand, and they put him to the test. Him and the steam drill. And the story goes, John Henry with his two hammers drilled 14 feet through the rock. And then at the same time, the steam drill went, and it only went 9 feet. So John Henry outworked the steam drill. Like, think about that. They've designed this machine to drill through the mountain to replace people, and they bring it to the work site, and everybody's like, "Man, what is that?" And they're like, "Hey, this is the future. We don't need you no more." And they're like, "What you mean?" They're like, "Yeah, we're going to bring these in, and then you guys won't have jobs." And John Henry goes, "I bet you it can't beat me. I'll prove to you that you need us." And they line it up, they go toe for toe, and John Henry wins. And it's so interesting because it actually says not only did the steam drill, basically they pushed the steam drill too much and it broke down. John Henry also dies afterwards. So it's like he basically sacrifices himself to keep the jobs for the other railroad workers. And it's one of the most interesting folklores, right? Because it's American folklore, so it's a legend. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but it's one of those things that you like. And they have songs about John Henry, stories about John Henry, like children's stories. They have a movie. I think it's Terry Crews. There's a movie on Netflix that's based off John Henry. I think Terry Crews plays a guy, which was why I didn't watch the movie, because I don't like Terry Crews. That's neither here nor there. But here's a guy who is a guy who wants the best for his community and is willing to do whatever it takes to protect that community. And so remember, it was 4 types of leadership. If you're new here, there are 4 perspectives of leadership: hero, voice, guru, and royalty. And so John Henry is a hero leader. That's what he would fall under. And what we learn from hero leaders is we learn the ideal that one person can change a situation. And what hero leaders show us is that if you have immense talent and you have immense drive, you in fact can make a difference. You in fact can fight against injustice. You in fact can protect those who cannot protect themselves, who do not have a voice themselves. And so John Henry put his life on the line for these people, for this community. And what we see is it wasn't about him, right? So it wasn't like, hey, race the steam machine, John Henry, and if you win, you're not owner of the railroad. Or if you win, you are given gold. Or it was no personal gain. It was, hey, we think John Henry can beat the steam drill, and John Henry says, if I beat it, you can't fire my people. One part of the song says, man, it says, if I can't beat this steam drill down, I'll die with this hammer in my hand. And it was this ideal that there was only one option when this race started. Like, John Henry was not willing to lose because of what he was fighting for, because of what he was pursuing. His why was so big, his why was so powerful that he was unwilling to take no as an answer. He was unwilling to accept defeat or accept failure. And he put his life on the line. And we can learn from this passion. We can learn from this desire because it shows us that if we are hero leaders, right? And I know some of you are, you can change the world. Because I think sometimes as hero leaders, we don't think our talent, we don't think our drive, we don't think our passion is enough. We feel small sometimes. And what the story of John Henry shows us is even if you just a railroad worker, and this is just for railroad workers, your decisions, your leadership still impacts people and changes lives. And the ideal that we're small is a false ideal. You are as big as you want to be. You take up as much space as you want to. And in taking up space, in being big, you have the opportunity to really change the world around you. And I want to encourage you, hero leaders, to take some inventory today and be like, what can I do with what I have, with why I'm doing it, that can make somebody's life better? Because if we do that, then that's when we see systems and people shift for the betterment of humanity. And I want to encourage you because there's not a lot of hero leaders, right? Even in the story, there wasn't like John Henry can beat you and Samuel can beat you and Luther can beat you. And it was, man, John Henry can beat you. And so sometimes as heroes, we feel isolated. We feel like we're alone. We feel like there's no one, no peer. We don't have any peers. But there is still power in the one person being like, I don't like this and I can change it. That is still powerful to this day. And yes, you do need people to follow you. You need people to accept that you're the one that can make the change. But you got to be the one that goes and do it, goes and does it, go and do it, go and does it. That don't sound right either way. That goes and gets it done. There we go. You could be the one that goes and gets it done, and in you getting it done, everyone else can benefit. I talked about a couple weeks ago, benefiting from your overflow. That's what hero leadership is you creating things, systems, opportunities, situations that have overflow that other people can benefit from. And so I love the story of John Henry. If you haven't seen it, read about it, I hope this is new to you. I hope that you learned something. I'm about to see if I can find the movie title for y'all because it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's called John Henry. I was right. It's literally called John Henry. And so it's a movie on Netflix. You can watch it. It does have Terry Crews in it. I can't tell you it's good or not. You know what I'm saying? But if you do want to if you like, I don't want to read about it, and you want people who like to watch, John Henry does have a movie that you can watch. And just tell me what you think. Drop in the comments. Have you ever heard the story of John Henry? Are you a hero leader? If so, what are you gonna change this world? Tell me from my hero leader. How you gonna change the world? We got 1 quarter left. So October, November, December, last quarter of the year. How can you change the world in 3 months? Because I know you can. I know you can. I know that you know you can. And so how are you going to do it? Drop a comment for me. Let me know. And if you're not a hero leader, don't worry. You can still impact the world. And maybe throughout this week, throughout this month, throughout this last quarter, you'll have some videos that encourage you as well. Thank you for rocking with your boy. Share this with somebody that you think is a hero leader. So let them know, hey, I want to encourage you. Watch this because we just want to help them. And I just want to help you be the best leader you can be. As always, it's your boy, Justin Strickland. And I don't know where else I'd rather be because I just enjoy impacting you all. And hopefully I'm making a difference for you and in your life. And until then, man, until next time, I shall see you again. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, man. Peace.